The coin toss set to happen. And we'll see who comes away with the ball first. The Dragons have won the toss, and they have elected to receive the opening kick. And so, with that, we will have the coaches on the Dragons side. Brad Lowry, Stephen Hunter, a name Pickens fans will be familiar with, Lee Riddle, Nick Clark, Philip Clark, Travis Estes, Matt Dawkins, and Josh Young round out the starters for the coaches rather for the Dragons. They'll get the ball to start the ball game. Dragons in their black helmet, green and white stripes, black and green jersey, black pants. Lumpkin in their white, purple, and gold. And if you can't get enough of Lumpkin and Pickens, they will play each other in Dahlonega on Friday at the high school level in the final regular season ball game of the year. And a lot riding on that ball game could determine, or will determine, who will finish third in the region. So that'll be a fun one to watch next week. But for now, we've got third grade Super Bowl action about ready to kick off here at Pickens High School. A catch by the Dragons, and they'll take it at the Indian 48-yard line to start the game. Dragons break the huddle, coming to the line. Dragons in the shotgun formation, much like their second grade team was. High snap! And the quarterback will fall on it back at the Dragon 41-yard line. That's Hayes Hunter. They had to pick it up after the high snap. Lucky to fall on it. But it's a big loss for the Dragons as they were set up at the Indian 48-yard line. Now it's back at their own 41. They got to get to the Indian 38 for a first. Second and long for the Dragons. And nowhere to run for number 7. That's Knox Mitten, on the run. No gain, or a loss on the play, rather. Loss of 1. So third and long for the Dragons on their opening possession. We'll see what the Dragons can do. Hunter with the ball, makes one man miss. Going to be taken down at the 40-yard line. So that brings up fourth down for the Dragons. I believe they elected the punt. So the ball will be brought down to the Indian 35-yard line, it looks like. Yep, that's where the ball will be spotted, and that's where the Indians will take over for their first possession of the ball game. So we'll see the Indians for the first time today. And we'll get to their coaches here after this first offensive play. Indians under center. They're in the pistol formation, it looks like. And number 28 will get about a yard. That's number 26. That's Rhett Haynes on the carry. Get about 1 yard on the play. The third grade Lumpkin Indians are coached by Curtis Caldwell, and he's assisted by Hank Haynes, Jamie Stewart, Eric Epperson, Garrett Martin, Will Fuller, and Ahmad Kamara. 2nd and 9 for the Indians at their 41, or at their 36 rather, and we've got a flag. Like it may be encroachment on the Dragons. So that'll move it up 5. Makes a 2nd and 9 into 2nd and 4. The 2nd grade Dragons had a little bit of an issue with that in the last game. We'll see if the 3rd grade Dragons can hold their water a little bit more, as they say. 2nd out. Dragons showing blitz. Quarterback with it. He's got the first down and more across the 50. He could be gone. He could be gone. One man to beat. And Hayes Hunter tackles him from behind. That is Maddox Smith with the long run inside the 10-yard line to the 8. Long run for Smith. But I tell you what, that was a great chase down by Hayes Hunter to get him. To prevent the touchdown. The handoff up the middle to the 5. Red Haynes on the carry gets it inside the 5-yard line to the 4. 2nd and goal for the Indians. Smith claps tempo, gonna roll to his right, cuts it back inside. He's short, maybe inside the 2. So 3rd and goal for the Indians at the Dragon 2-yard line. Smith with 2 backs with him. Has a man rolling right to left. Smith going to hand it off. Touchdown, Indians. Number 26, Rhett Haynes, gets it in from 2 yards out. And the Indians strike first. The Indians will go for the 2-point conversion from the 5-yard line. Smith with Haynes and Waylon Fuller in the backfield with him. Haynes can hand it off to Fuller. Fuller looking and won't get into the end zone. So the conversion is no good. And with 3:27 to go here in this opening quarter of play, the Lumpkin County Indians lead the Pickens Dragons 6-0. And we're back as the Dragons take over for their second possession of the ball game. And we've got a flag. Like it's a false start against the Dragons. That'll back them up 5 to their 25-yard line. So it'll be first down from their 25, 1st and 15. As much, it's kind of, these two games between Lumpkin and Pickens are kind of mirroring each other in a way so far. Hunter makes a man miss. We'll get back to the 25, maybe the 26. You get 1 yard on that run. Get to the 26-yard line, make it 2nd and 14 for the Dragons. Haynes sends a man in motion. They're going to hand it off on the counter. He's got some run. He's got some room. He gets to the 30-yard line, about the original line of scrimmage. That was number 7, Knox Mitten, on the run. They'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Dragons at their own 30-yard line. Indians making a substitution on the line. Hunter in shotgun. Going to fake the reverse. Hunter's going to keep it, and he will go nowhere. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Indians are all over the Dragons to start this ball game so far. So it'll be 4th down and 12 from the Dragon 28-yard line, and they will punt for the second time. So the Indians will take over in very favorable territory at their own 47-yard line. 1:43 to go here in this first quarter. Indians lead the Dragons 6-0 and look to add to that. And as I mentioned earlier, that these second grade or the 3rd grade game is mirroring what the 2nd grade game was. Pickens needs something big. You feel like Pickens needs something big to happen for them to get some momentum and get back into this ball game. Yeah, it's only 6-0, but with the way these teams run the ball, that clock will run quick. Number 26 with the ball. He gets across the 50 to the 49. Again, Red Haynes on the carry. And we've got a timeout by the officials. An official's timeout. Going to get a substitution in for Pickens. Well, the Indians will have it at the Dragons' 49-yard line. That's 2nd and 6. He's got room. Quarterback's got room. He's got the first down. He's across the 40. They'll mark him at the 40. That is number 1. That is Maddox Smith. So the Indians finding success with their run game early on with Maddox Smith and with Red Haynes. Smith with the ball again, looking on the left side. He's got room. He slips a tackle, gets across the 30, still on his feet inside the 25. down to the 23, but everybody's walking back, so it looks like it could be a hold on the Indians, and that'll drive it back. That'll negate the run. Holding against the Indians. So they'll march them back, and the ball will be placed at midfield at the 50-yard line. Line to gain for the Indians is the Dragon 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20 for the Indians. Four wide for the Indians, Smith and shotgun. Gets a snap, running it. Gets across the 40, out to the 37-yard line before he's tackled out of bounds. Believe we have some more flags on the field. Blindside block against the Indians, so that'll drive them back even further. That'll drive them back all the way to their 35-yard line. Line to gain is still the Dragon 30. They're going all the way back to Dahlonega with their penalties here. Let's see what the Indians can do. Smith in the shotgun. Looking to throw. Is going to be sacked for a loss. Back at the Indian 29-yard line. They're going to mark it officially at the 30. So the Indians are back at their 30. Line to gain is the Dragons 30. Not too good at math, but that's a long way to go for a first as we come to the end of the first quarter with the Indians leading the Dragons 6-0. All right, back here at Dragon Stadium, Pickens High School. It's 2nd and 40. We figured it out. 2nd and 40. Well, it's going to be 2nd and 35 now for the Indians as the Dragons jump off sides. That's their second time they've been called for the offsides penalty. So now the ball will be spotted at the Indian 35-yard line. Line to gain is the Dragons 30. So it is 2nd and 35 for the Indians. Back-to-back penalties for the Indians have driven them back. Smith sends a man in motion. They cut it up. Oh, he slips down. He had some room. That wasn't Smith. That was number 26. That was Haynes on the carry. He picks up some yardage across the 40 out to the Indian 43-yard line. So it makes it 3rd and 27. Two backs in the backfield with Smith. And we got a flag on the play. Going to be a false start against the Indians. They'll back them up 5 to the 38. So 3rd and 32. Not very many plays you could call a 3rd and 32. But Smith going to hand it off. Looking for room. Slips a tackle. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Going to be tackled shy of the 50-yard line at the Indian 48. That again is Red Haynes. So it'll be 4th down for the Indians. The Indians will punt. And so the ball will be spotted at the Dragon 20-yard line. They'll move it up to the 20, just about the 22-yard line. So that's where the Dragons will take over. First down for the Dragons at their own 22-yard line with 6:47 to go in the first half. The Indians scored on their first possession of the ball game. But other than that, it's been kind of defensive and kind of some penalties, dropping offenses back and getting them in trouble. So we'll see what the Dragons can do on their next possession. Hunter has one to his right, sends a man in motion. And we got a false start against the Dragons. Offensive line kind of jumped early. So that'll back them up 5 to the Dragons 16-yard line, 1st and 15. And you can't be happy if you're Coach Hunter over there on the Dragons sideline, seeing your offense start slow, seeing penalties start drives, backing you up. It limits your offense. And another flag, another false start. So the Dragons will back up to the 11-yard line. It is 1st and 20. They're going to mark it actually at the 12. They're at the 17-yard line, rather. Okay. Hunter looking for some space, and he's going to be tackled at the 14-yard line. I'll mark him at the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. I think both of these teams have decided they want to see who can get the longer down and distance. Hunter, we got a flag on the play. It might be on the defense because they let the play go. And we'll see what they do. Declined. Looks like it was on the Dragons. So the penalty was declined. 3rd and long for the Dragons. Ball spotted at their own 16-yard line. High snap. Ball's loose. Dragons fall back on it. It'll be 4th down, and the Dragons will punt. Well, the ball is spotted at the Dragon 32-yard line, and that's where the Indians will take over. 5:18 to go here in this first half. Indians with the ball looking to extend their lead. They lead it 6-0 over the Dragons. The Dragons offensively have not been able to do a thing so far, and credit the Indian defense on stifling that Dragon offense, but the Dragon defense has come up big as well. As Smith with the ball, he gets across the 25 to the 23-yard line. Close to a first down. Bring up 2nd and 1 from the Dragon 28. Or rather, 23. I had it right the first time. Smith, direct snap to the running back. He gets across the 20 towards the 15. Going to be marked shy at the 16. That is Rhett Haynes with the RB direct snap. Something you see out of the college football game or Madden, and tell what these coaches have been playing to get some of these plays. And if it works, it works. And that time it worked. So ball spotted at the Dragon 16-yard line, 1st and 10. The Indians can get a first down without scoring. Smith going to roll to his right. Cuts through the middle. Breaks 2 tackles. Gets inside the 10. Near the 8-yard line. 8-yard run there on first down by Smith. That'll bring 2nd and 2 from the Dragon 8. They can get a first down at the Dragon 6. 3:40 to go here, first half. Smith sends a man in motion right to left. Going to hand it off. Looking for room. Cutting it up. Doesn't get in, but he does get the first down. They're going to mark him out at the 2. So it'll be a 1st and goal for the Indians. And you got to think old Rhett's going to be getting the ball here. Well, they send him out. It's Smith and it's Fuller. Smith wide open. He gets the ball. 2-yard touchdown run for Maddox Smith. And the Indians go up by 2 scores, 12-0 with 3:21 to go here. In this first half, the Indians will now look to convert the 2-point conversion to make it 14-0. Smith looking to throw, has a man open. Oh, and he couldn't come up with the ball. Had a man open. Lobbed it a little bit too far for him, and the conversion attempt is no good. But with 3:21 to go here in this first half, the Lumpkin County Indians now lead the Pickens Dragons 12-0 here in this third grade Super Bowl matchup. The Dragons looking to get something going here just before the half. They trail the Lumpkin Indians 12-0. It's been all Lumpkin in this third grade Super Bowl matchup. And a handoff. Oh, not a handoff. Hunter kept it and got tackled in the backfield for a couple-yard loss. I thought he handed that off. The running back had a lot of room there if he'd have handed it off. But Hunter kept it and lost a couple of yards on the play as the Lumpkin defense read it well. And we've got another flag on the play. We've got offsides against the defense. That'll move it up 5 yards. So move it up to the Dragons 31-yard line. Makes it 2nd and 9. We'll see what the Dragons can do. 2:30 to go and counting in this first half. It's been Lumpkin's ball game so far. We've got a timeout taken by the Indians. 2:27 left in this first half. As I was saying, it's been all Indians so far. They've controlled the clock. They've controlled the game. They've got a 2-score lead. Maddox Smith running the offense. And you've had Rhett Haynes running the ball. That's a nice 1-2 punch for the Indians in this third grade team. If you're whoever is in charge of this Lumpkin County Rec Department must be pretty happy right now with the way his teams have performed. Got some young kids coming up in the pipeline. .20, and so on. And so we'll see what the Dragons can do out of the timeout. And another false start against the Dragons. The Dragons just can't get anything going. They haven't been able to the whole game. And a lot of that is due to Lumpkin. A lot of that is due to Lumpkin and the way they're playing defense. But a lot of it is Pickens' own fault with the false starts and all of that, and just putting the offense in a ton of holes and a ton of bad situations. We'll see if they can climb out of that and get some points before that. Another high snap, and Hunter has to pull it back inside the 20 at their own 19. It's just one thing after another. It's spiraling for the Dragons, and they need something to give themselves some momentum heading into half and heading into the second half, where the Indians get the ball to start the ball game, or start the second half rather. Hunter sends a man in motion. And another false start. The Dragons are going backwards. I mentioned it earlier, but they saw the Lumpkin 2nd and 40, and they want to beat it, apparently. And that's not the goal of the game. Inside the 15 now to the Dragon 14. 3rd and forever. The Dragons get the snap off. Hunter's going to take off and run. Makes another man miss. Gets the corner. Still on his feet. Still going. Gets across the 35 out to the 36-yard line. The best offensive play for the Dragons so far today. But it's 4th down. And what do? Do you try and go for it, or you do punt it to give the Indians the ball back? Under a minute to go now. The Dragons will go for it. They're trying to draw them off sides, it seems like. And they'll call timeout. Yep, that's what they were doing. They were trying to draw the Indians off sides. The Indians did a good job of staying put. And so the Dragons will call a timeout with 46 seconds to go here in this first half. The Indians lead it 12-0. Dragons have it. 4th down. They're going to go for it. High snap, but Hunter corrals it. He gets around 3 tacklers somehow. He's trying to get the corner. He does. He gets the 40. He's still on his feet. And he'll be tackled around midfield. They're going to mark him down at the Dragons' 48-yard line. We do have a flag down. And it's a holding against the Dragons. So that'll back them up, and that may force the Dragons to have to punt it away. "35 seconds to go in this first half. Ball is now spotted at the Dragon 26. Dragons need to get to their 40-yard line for a first, and they do decide to punt. So the ball will come out and be spotted just past midfield at the Indian 49. The Indians have 35 seconds to work with. Already up 12-0. Seeing if they could add to the lead before the half, and they get the ball to start the second half. So it sets up perfectly if you're an Indian fan. Maybe get some points before the half, and they get the ball to start the second half. Try and get a 2-for-1 situation. Gonna throw it. Has a man. Oh! Just couldn't. That was intended for Red Haynes. Second time the Indians have tried to throw it, but it falls incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10 from the Indian 49-yard line with 30 seconds left. If you're the Dragons, you need to watch that potential pass again here on 2nd down. Dragons bringing the blitz. Smith makes one man miss. Reverses field. Cuts it up. Gets across the 50. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Gets across the 40. Going to mark him at the 40-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. With 17 seconds left. Hey, what? He's wearing number 1. He's kind of looking like Cal Faulkner out there. Indian fans remember him fondly. Now at Georgia Tech, enjoying a 7-0 start to the season. Up on Syracuse right now, 17-3 last time I saw it. So the Indians have taken a timeout. They have it at the Dragon 40-yard line with 17 seconds left. And with that exception of that one drive where they had the 2nd and 40, it's been pretty much a perfect half for the Indians. Smith looking to throw, and that is caught. That's caught. That was number 11 with the catch there. That was Nolan Caldwell. Came down with it at the Dragon 31-yard line. Brings up a 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard gain. 11 seconds left and another timeout called by the Indians. Fumble on the play, and the Dragons recover. So that's a little bit of momentum for the Dragons as they head into the half. 5 seconds left. Seconds left. Just get out of the half and try and make some adjustments at halftime. Indians trying to go 2 for 3 in Super Bowl matchups today. Their K first grade team won our opening Super Bowl. Pickens came away with the second grade Super Bowl. And Hunter looking to run. Will get to about the 35-yard line, but that's about it. And that'll be the end of the first half of play as the Lumpkin County Indians lead the Pickens Dragons 12-0 as we hit the half. gentlemen, we are back here live at Pickens High School. Second half kickoff was just underway. Pickens kicked the ball out of bounds. So the Indians will take over at their own 47-yard line to begin this second half. Smith going to take it. Roam to his left. Gets across the 50 out to the 45 to the 44-yard line. And that's where the Indians will have it. Close to a first down. A 9-yard gain for Smith on first down, 2nd and 1. Maddox Smith, Red Haynes, the 1-2 combo for Lumpkin. Oh, that ball's loose. Thought Pickens had it, but the Indians recover it back at the 45. It was a 1-yard loss for the Indians. Bring up 3rd and 2 now. Got to get to the Dragons' 43-yard line for a first down. Indians have controlled the bulk of the game, both offensively and defensively. But the Dragons are showing blitz. Could have been an offsides, but they don't call it. Smith with the ball. He gets across the 40 towards the 36. Going to mark him at the Dragon 37-yard line, first down for the Indians. Smith's going to hand it off. And looks for some room, breaks a couple tackles, gets to the 32-yard line. That is number 33 on the run. That is Waylon Fuller. He gets a couple yards on first down. Bring up 2nd down for the Indians at the Dragon 32-yard line. Need to get to the 27 for a first down. And a handoff. Haynes with the carry. We do have a flag on the play. He was shy of the first down. And looks like we may have a player that's shaken up here. So while they're attending to him, we'll take a little break. Good to see the young man jog off under his own power. Back to play here. First down for the Indians. Smith going to run it on the right side. Cuts it up. Gets across the 15 out to the Dragon 14-yard line. Close to another first down. You what, the way things are going, Maddox Smith and Red Haynes are going to be fighting for that T-shirt, that player of the game. that we've been handing out after the game. Smith again on the carry, gets inside the 10 to the 9. And mark him down at the 8. So it'll be goal to go for the Indians at the Dragon 8-yard line, looking to extend their already 2-touchdown lead with 5 minutes to go here in the third. It's the Indians' opening possession of the second half. Smith on the left side. He's got plenty of room, and he gets in for the touchdown. And it's 18-0 Indians lead. And so the Indians will set up for the 2-point try. Try to make it 20-0. Smith looking to throw. And it's caught. I believe that was number 11, Nolan Caldwell, on the catch in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And with 4:49 left in this third quarter, the Indians are up on the Dragons 20-0. We're back. The Dragons with the ball. Tough running just to get a yard. Got back to the line of scrimmage. We have another Indian slow to get up. Been it so far offensively. Sends a man in motion left to right, and we got a flag, a false start against the Dragons. Like the left tackle may have moved. So they'll back them up 5. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the Dragons at their own 25. Well, if games were decided by penalty yardage, I think Pickens may be winning. But unfortunately for the Dragons, that's not how games are won. Lumpkin has done virtually everything right today as they lead it 20-0 against the Dragons. Dragons now with it was 2nd and 15. Looking for a run is Hunter. We got another flag on the play. So this will be all for naught. It looks like he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. But we got another flag on the play. And it's against the Dragons. And another hold. So the Dragons will be backed up yet again. we'll see what the Dragons can come up with. Second down. Ball's at their own 15-yard line. They need to get to their 40. Second and 25 for the Dragons. They fake the reverse. Hunter with it, looking to get the corner. He gets to the 20-yard line, and that's where they'll mark him out. A 5-yard gain for the Dragons. Bring up third and 20 for the Dragons now. Third down for the Dragons. Two backs in with Hunter. High snap again. Hunter is just going to fall on it back at his own 15-yard line. And I'll bring up fourth down for the Dragons. They'll mark it officially at the 14. And so the Dragons will punt. Give the ball back to the Indians. 2:43 to go here in the third quarter. It's been all Indians in this third grade Super Bowl matchup. If you're just joining us, Lumpkin won the K first grade Super Bowl over White County. Second grade Super Bowl was won by Pickens over Lumpkin in a barn burner. And now with this one, the Indians are leading the Dragons 20-0. And they have the ball at the Dragon 36-yard line to start their possession. Smith with the ball. He'll roll to his right. Great open field tackle there by the Dragons. I believe that was number 3 for the Dragons. William DeLong on the tackle. That was a nice tackle by him, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Smith is probably making a house call. The second down for the Indians. About 4 yards on that play, so bring up second and 6. Smith, another run to the right. Cuts it inside, still on his feet, inside the 20. Down to the Dragon 19-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Indians. Smith going to hand it off. Caldwell on the run. And he'll get maybe to the 25. Couple yard run there by Caldwell on first down. I'll mark it at the 24-yard line, just inside. Second down for the Indians.
Jackson is in 7th grade and he wears U large, so I don't know, like a medium or something.
Direct snap to Haynes. Haynes gets inside the 10-yard line. Going to be dragged down at the 9. first and goal for the Indians. It's picked off by the Dragons. And returned across the 5 out to the 7-yard line. Going to mark him at the 8. But there's a defensive stand for the Dragons. And the offense will come back out onto the field with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. So the Dragons come out of the huddle. Probably time for one play before the end of the third quarter. Hunter sends a man in motion. Another high snap. Hunter corrals it. Makes 2 men miss. Still on his feet, going to be tackled about the 6-yard line for a 2-yard loss. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter with the Lumpkin County Indians leading the Pickens Dragons 20-0 here. Well, nope, they've stopped the clock at 5 seconds. There is a flag on the play. They're going to back up the Dragons and put the ball inside the 5 at the 4. So this will be that will be the end of the third quarter. So, after 3 quarters of play, the Lumpkin County Indians lead the Pickens Dragons 20-0 in the third grade Super Bowl. All right, we're set to start the fourth quarter of play here with the Dragons backed up near their own end zone. Hunter, another high snap. That one will go out of the end zone. I believe that'll be a safety. That is a safety. So the Indians now lead at 22-0 with 7:54 to go in the ball game. The Indians will have the ball after the timeout. They lead at 22-0. It's been all Indians in this third grade game. Reminder, we still have 4th grade, we still have 5th grade, and we still have 6th grade coming up after this one. Couple more great games in store. The Indians will take over at the Dragon 30-yard line. Already up 22 to nothing and looking to add to it. Now we have a stoppage of play by the official. Don't know exactly what's going on down there. Seem to be ready to go now. They're going to respot the ball, or it's a flag. As the Jeopardy music plays. Pretty sure everybody else is confused. So they're going to mark it at the Indian 45-yard line instead of the Dragon 30. It makes a little bit more sense. Smith with the ball. Going to get across the 45 towards the 50. Going to be marked down at the 49-yard line of the Indians. 4-yard gain there for Smith on first down. So it'll be 2nd and 6 now for Lumpkin. Lumpkin taking their time, draining the clock. 7:16 and counting left to go in the ball game. Smith with 2 backs. Going to hand it off. Still on his feet. Trying to get the corner. It's Caldwell. Caldwell. Inside the 35, inside the 30. Still running. Going to be taken down at the Dragon 20-yard line. "31-yard run there by Noah Caldwell. Sets up a first down for the Indians at the Dragon 20-yard line. And believe we've got a timeout. We got a timeout taken with 6:58 to go here in the ball game. The Indians lead the Dragons 22 to nothing here in the 3rd grade Super Bowl, the Mountain Athletic Conference, the Mountain Football League. Super Bowl Saturday here in Jasper, Georgia at Pickens High School Dragons Stadium. Dragons had a football game here last night against Greater Atlanta Christian School. That one was back and forth all night long. Points on points on points. Unfortunately, the Dragons came up a little bit short in that one. The Dragons will have one more regular season game against the Lumpkin County Indians next Friday night in Dahlonega at the burial grounds, as they call it. Smith has 2 backs with him in the shotgun. First down for the Indians at the Dragon 20-yard line. Unbalanced line to the right. Going to hand it off to Caldwell again. Nice. Oh, he tried to stay on his feet, but Caldwell will be taken down around the 25. Going to mark him at the 25. That's where he's down. That was a good tackle there by the Dragons. So 2nd and 15 now for the Indians at the Dragon 25. Smith going to carry it to the right side. Breaks the tackle. Still on his feet. One man to beat, and he'll beat him for the touchdown. 25 yards. Maddox Smith. And it is now 28-0. Lumpkin County. And they will go for one. They'll go for the 1-point conversion, try and make it 29-0 with 5:40 and counting. Gonna hand off, and the conversion is no good. Though with just over 5 minutes to go here in the ball game, the Indians now lead the Dragons 28-0 here in the 3rd grade Super Bowl. And now the Dragons will have it at their 45-yard line to start this drive. Clock has been running. Another high snap. And Lumpkin comes up with it. The Lumpkin will take over at the Dragon 33-yard line after the high snap. It's been an issue for the Dragons the entire game. There's nothing that's gone right for the Dragons in this one, and Lumpkin deserves a lot of credit for that. Lumpkin well on their way to a Super Bowl victory. Smith, or no, that's Caldwell. Caldwell will run it. He's got the corner. He's still on his feet. And they'll mark him out. They'll mark him out inside the 15 at the Dragon 14-yard line. It'll be first down for the Indians at the Dragon 14-yard line. It's like Caldwell's still under center. He'll hand it off to number 44, and he'll be... Oh, he took the football away. Number 43 for the Dragons just took the football away. Just ripped it clean from his hands. That young man is Jude McFarland. Landon Martin was on the carry for the Indians, and McFarland just took the ball away out of his hands, and he couldn't believe he did that for half a second. He just stood there, and everybody was like, "What happened?" And then he started running. Got all the way out to the Dragons' 47-yard line. And so the Dragons will take over with just over a minute to go here in the ball game. Another high snap. But Hunter was able to corral it. Big chunk loss there for the Dragons. Just over 30 seconds left in the game. This is probably going to end up being the final play of the game. Dragons with 3 wide receivers, 1 back with Hunter. Hunter is going to hand it off to number 7. That's Knox Mitten. And that will do it. Or the clock is stopped, rather. We have a timeout. The Dragons called timeout. 6 seconds left. So more than likely be the final play of the game. One more play for the Dragons before this one's over with. And I lied. One more play. We got a flag. Or no, we don't. We just had a stoppage of play. And a handoff. And it'll be met behind the line of scrimmage. And that'll do it as the Lumpkin County Indians are your 3rd grade Super Bowl champions. They shut out the Pickens Dragons 28-0 to capture the Super Bowl championship. That's the end of our 3rd game of the day. We've got the 4th graders coming up here in a little while, so stick with us after this break.